Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Bellaocity Travel. My name is Trish. I'm glad that you could join me again. So, today we're going to start something new. This is going to be called Sunday Sermon. So, we're going to just be chit chatting about things about life and, how stressful things can be and, how sometimes we're overwhelmed and how to be able to deal with some of those things. So I just want to set aside this time for that. Um, you know, Life happens fast, things happen, and sometimes we don't have control over that. And sometimes we don't understand or know how to be able to handle certain things. So sometimes we're sinking, drowning, floating, or maybe swimming, or just pedaling through life and not really aware of how unhappy we are and what we can do to make those things better. And I just want to talk about that because sometimes we think or we feel like we're the only person that feels a certain way, or we're the only one that feels overwhelmed with certain things. And to be honest, a lot of times, a lot of people feel the same about situations in life, but no one cares to really share it, or they're embarrassed to say how they are feeling about certain things, right? The world that we're in is forever changing, forever evolving, and it's at a fast pace. Life is at a faster pace, and it can be overwhelming. It can cause anxiety, it can cause stress, panic, panic attacks, um, and sometimes it can cause you to withdraw from the things that you need to be doing to put yourself in a positive position, or to put yourself in a good position mentally and physically, right? Because some things can just basically be draining to us. Our jobs can be totally draining sometimes. Our families, family, friends, those things can actually drain you dry sometimes, and you have nothing left for yourself. Because if you think about it, we're always giving, 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 right? We give to our family, we give to our kids, our husbands, our wives, our boyfriends, our girlfriends. We give to everyone, but what are we getting back? And I'm not talking about materialistic things or anything like that. What are we getting back for ourselves? How do we feel at the end of the day? Do you feel like you're giving so much to everyone else that you're not getting anything back for yourself? Do you feel like you're completely drained mentally and physically and psychologically? And this happens to the best of us. The strongest people, you know, we're drained. I felt the same way. I felt drained. I felt overwhelmed. And a lot of times we feel this way, but it's here. We keep it here, and it's not visual to other people, right? So I am one of those people. I'm really good at hiding things, right? I worked two jobs. I worked in the nursing field for over 20 odd years. I was a single mom, and I worked 12 hours a day, 16 hours a day, sometimes 21 days without being off, right? But just working, 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 trying to maintain a certain lifestyle, trying to make sure that, in the US, in order for your family to be safe, in order for your kids to go to certain schools, you have to um, live in a good neighborhood, right? You have to pay more rent. You have to, do all of these things to make sure that your child is safe and that your family is safe. So, I was always working and just kind of going through the motions, working, coming home, take care of my son, helping do homework, working. Sometimes I work during the day, and then I would pick up hours at night, because our economy is, you know, it's always like this, right? So things are steadily climbing, getting more expensive. And this is what I did for more than 20 years, right? And just working and going through the motions, eating, sleeping, shitting, eating, sleeping, shitting, taking care of my son and things like that. And just kind of in a daze, right? Just in a daze of what's going on around me. You know, um, sometimes, I mean, I like to dance, I like to go out, but I would do those things. But sometimes you're just tired. And, one day I was like, it's got to be more. I just felt overwhelmed. I felt like I was just in this cycle of just working, working, working. The more you work, the more it took. I felt like I was in relationships. I felt like I was giving 1,000% and not getting that back. And I was just giving, 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 but inside I could feel myself dwindling away. I was losing myself. I was starting to be stressed, starting to have insomnia, not being able to sleep, things like that. Just kind of losing my way, like mentally, physically drained. Because the thing about it is, when things are not right up here, it trickles down the rest of your body. It causes headaches, it causes high blood pressure, it can cause your blood glucose level to be off. It causes weight gain, right? It causes restlessness, it causes sleep deprivation. So when you're mentally not feeling well, or you're not mentally in a good place, it can show in your skin. Your skin can start to get dry. You can start to get more wrinkles. Your hair can start to get grayer, and you can see those things happening. And for me, it was more of a mental thing, because I felt like I was just too tired to do anything. And I felt like I was just floating through life. And at times I felt like I was drowning, right? Because no matter how much money you make in the US, there's always something to pay. You make money to give it back away, right? You make money to give it back away. And you're just living day by day and in this routine, and you're just tired, and there's nothing left for you. Like, what is left for me, like, mentally? So this is how I was starting to feel. And this was the start of my journey of trying to rediscover myself and figure out what I needed to make me happy. And things that make people happy, it's going to be different for everyone. Sometimes it could be getting away from that toxic relationship, getting away from that demanding job, putting those negative Nancy's on pause, right? The person who's always got something negative to say, even when you're doing something positive, putting them on pause, or just completely getting rid of them, right? Like I say, family, because sometimes your family can be very toxic. I've been in situations where family members have been toxic, and I've had to remove myself from even that those toxic situations, because at the end of the day, you can't change people, right? You can't change how someone feels about you. You can't change what they think about you. All you can do is just continue to live life the best of your ability, because at the end of the day, life is very short. And I can say that because, recently I just lost my brother, like, less than a week ago. And, this was, I always felt like life was short, right? But just going through the motions of this has really showed me how precious life is, and how fast and in a blink of an eye we can, it could be over. And for him, he was fine. He was strong and laughing and, joking. And in 1 month, my brother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. And, as soon as he was diagnosed, we know that's one of the most deadliest diseases, right? Because by the time you're diagnosed, you're already in stage 4, by the time you start having symptoms. And in 1 month after being diagnosed, he was gone just in an instant. And it makes you realize, if you don't already realize, it actually brings things more into a deeper perspective of how valuable time is for yourself and for your loved ones, right? So, when I look back at, how my life has been the last 4 years, quitting my job and deciding to move abroad, I'm glad that I made that decision, because at any time, at any given time, anything could happen, right? And your life can be shortened. And I learned this, just this past week. And So this is why, I just want to talk to you guys, because it's important that you find what is missing from your life, right? You know, find what's missing from your life, and those things that are stressing you or holding you back, or you feel like that are keeping you up at night. Find a way to solve those problems, right? If it's something that you can control, by all means, control it, right? Like I say, people, you can't control that. You can't control how the people act at your job. You can't control how people treat you, but you can remove yourself from those places. And I know everyone can't quit their job and everyone can't do that, but we are in a country where anything is possible, right? But you have to be willing to go that extra mile. You have to be willing to step out of the box and say, hey, this is not healthy for me mentally. This is not good for me, and if it's not good for you, it's not going to be good for those around you, because what's going on here, it trickles down, right? It trickles down to your loved ones. What's going on at work, it comes home. It affects your marriage. It affects your relationships. It affects everything, right? So, you know, um, just to say that, you know, time can be wasted on, just breezing through life, or feeling like you're struggling to swim through life, or you're floating, or you're sinking. And I say personally, I felt that a lot, right? I felt that a lot. Yeah, I was able to maintain everything and pay my bills and take care of my son and, do all of those duties. But what was there for me, right? At the end of the day, I was so exhausted. So I had to find a way out for myself, right? And my way out was to rediscover myself, because I felt like everything that I was doing, there was just something missing. I could go out and I could buy a new car, right? I could go out and get a brand new apartment and, get a pair of new stilettos and, buy a nice purse and clothes and all that. But you know what? There was just still something missing. And as Americans, that's what we do. We buy things to shelter what is really going on with us, right? We have shopping addictions. We love things. And this is something that I've learned, just by living in other countries. It's different to be a tourist, but when you actually live in a country, for months or for years, and you interact with other cultures and you see how people are happy and they have little to nothing, it makes you think about all of the time that we waste to buy things, or all of the time that we waste to do things that really don't matter, right? So, just to say that you're not the only one that feels like that. But the best thing to do is, to figure out how to make those changes in your life, right? You know, get a journal, take notes, do something, research, right? Let's say you're at a job and every day you go to work, it's just chaotic, right? You love your job, you love what you do, but it's just chaotic. You know, just find something else that you like to do. I mean, it could be that career, it could be another career. I mean, I've seen nurses that left, you know, nursing, and they are now flight attendants. You know what I'm saying? Do what makes you happy, because at the end of the day, most of the time people don't really care how you feel. They'll smile and they'll befriend you and stuff, but at the end of the day, most people just care about themselves. People are very selfish, so you have to start putting yourself first and stop floating through life, or drowning, feel like you're drowning and you're just not able to come up for air. Put yourself in a position where you can kind of make changes. Because the thing that I know about being an American and what I've learned about living in other countries is that sometimes we live in this box, right? We're in this box and we're afraid to step out of that box and do new things, because we are afraid of the what ifs, or of not being able to have control. But at the end of the day, you really don't have a control over a lot of things in your life, right? But you have control of your future. You have control over situations that you can change. So it's okay. Even for me, when I sold everything and decided and left a job that I had been there for 13 years. Of course, people thought I was crazy. They thought I had lost my mind. But the fact of the matter is, I was losing my mind working all the time. I was losing my mind not knowing if I was going or coming, working 16 hours days, and felt like I was always giving my money away. And there was nothing, things, right? So just remember that you can find things that you like and you love to do, or you can get away from them negative situations, but you have to make that first step, and you have to have faith, because if you don't have faith in yourself, then why should anyone else have faith in you, right? You have to learn how to step out on faith and know that at the end of the day, that things are going to be okay. If it doesn't work out the first time, you can try again, right? And that's how it was for me. I didn't know if I was going to like living outside the country. Oh yeah, I had some culture shock. I'm still in shock from a lot of things, but at the end of the day, I found a level of peace that I cannot even begin to explain, right? There are a lot of things I don't have to worry about. I don't have to worry about numerous amounts of bills flying through my email or coming on my texting, they text you, bills on your phone, and, getting in your mailbox. I don't have to worry about negative things that people say, because guess what? They can still say negative things about me, but guess what? I'm not there, and I don't really care what they say, right? I don't have to worry about the political aspects of our country dragging me down, or, worrying about, I don't know. I just don't worry about a lot of things anymore. And it's because I took myself out of that situation, right? And like I say, it's going to be different for everyone. Whatever the situation is that you feel like that is causing you to drown or just float through life, you actually have to find a way to rediscover yourself and figure out what is missing, right? Sometimes you just know that something is not right. You just don't feel whole, that something is missing, and you have to try different things. It may not always work out. Trust me, there was a couple of times I thought I was going to have to reel it back in and come on back home. But you learn and you rediscover and you find out that you're tougher than you think, right? You can be overwhelmed, but you learn and you figure out ways to overcome certain things in life. And that's how it was for me. And I'm still learning. I'm learning things about myself because I actually have time to rediscover and to learn new things. Before I didn't. I was working all the time, and I was just like a robot, working, working, working. I had time to do things sometimes, but for the most part, it was just a robot. And that's what we are, to a lot of these companies, sometimes even to our spouses, our girlfriends, our mates, our partners. You're just in this repeat cycle. So, whether you want to be a solo traveler, or you want to get, like I say, there's a relationship, whether it's a relationship with a family member, or, a partner or something, or it's your job, you know, try to find a way to rediscover yourself and figure a plan out for yourself. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Okay. I'm I'm a country girl. I am from a town where everybody know everybody, and everybody is in everybody's business. Okay. If a shoe drop, somebody's going to tell you what color that shoe is, and they're going to go tell the neighbor. And then, of course, the story changes every time it goes to someone. But I'm from a little small town where mostly everybody in that town has probably never really left, or never like traveled abroad. I mean, there are some exceptions to people, but for the most part, people live there, they eat, sleep, breathe, and they die there, right? And personally, I never thought that I would be doing what I'm doing now. Yeah, I moved to a bigger city, and I kind of rediscovered myself there, but that wasn't enough. So once I started feeling overwhelmed and I felt like I was drowning, I began to do research during COVID. I was like, okay, I want to do something. I need to do something different. I just feel like I'm losing my mind. I just want to feel more at peace. I don't want to feel like I'm drowning in bills. I don't want to feel like everything that I'm making is going back to somebody else. I'm making someone else rich, right? And that's when I started researching and looking at YouTube videos. And I'm like, oh my God, these people are traveling. They're doing this, they're doing that. And I'm like, there's no way I could do that. But, it was just that ounce of faith and just believing in myself and manifesting better things for myself and for my life. And if you can see it, you know, like I say, you can do it, but you got to have faith in yourself and know and believe that um, things are not going to be perfect. If you go on a new journey or you do something new or different, or you remove yourself from these situations that are bogging you down, it's not going to be easy. You're going to go through some trial and tribulations, but that's what life is about. Because guess what? You're already going through those things anyway. You're going through trials, you're going through tribulations, but it's stressing you and you don't have any of that control, right? So when you have more control of your life, then your problems seem a little more simple, right? Because you're able to redirect yourself and say, hey, okay, I have this problem, but maybe I can solve it this way, or I can solve it that way, or I can do this different, I can do that different. You actually have a different path that you can go on, not a path that someone else wants you to go on, right? So, I don't want to like keep you guys too long, but that's just all I wanted to say. Just know that you're not the only one that feels like they're drowning or sinking or just floating through life, right? Because that's majority of us Americans. And that's the difference between our culture and a lot of other cultures. um, we are very rich in things and with finances and currency, but a lot of us are unhappy. Things don't make you happy, right? And until people really figure this out, our society is not going to get any better. Okay. Social media has made it look like, having the biggest house and the biggest car and having all of these name brand clothes and all this stuff is going to make you feel good about yourself. But it's not, because at the end of the day, all of those are materialistic things and they can be taken away. And guess what? Once those things are stripped from you, then it's just you. You have to deal with yourself. Right. So, I've learned to, um, not have to worry about those things anymore. If I don't want to put on clothes for today and I just want to put on, I don't know, sandals and shorts and a t-shirt, people don't care what you wear. No one is not going to say, oh, she looks homeless or she don't have any money, or like, I don't even worry about that stuff anymore because I don't care. Because guess what? I have control over my life. I have control over my schedule. I have control over what I do, where I live, where I go, who I talk to, right? So knowing that I have that control and I don't feel like I'm being bogged down or that I'm sinking in life anymore, it's trickling everywhere. I can see a difference in my skin. I can see a difference in my hair. I can see a difference in how I feel about myself and how I feel about my life, right? So, at the end of the day, it's all about you. Sometimes you have to be selfish to yourself. You have to take care of yourself because ain't nobody going to love you like you love yourself. And ain't nobody going to take care of you like you take care of yourself. Yeah, people will do for you and do for you. But guess what? Nobody's going to do it better than you can. So, just continue to stay encouraged and find a way out of those situations that are causing you anxiety, that are causing you depression, that are causing you to feel bogged down, or, you know, things that are making your heart heavy and you know that you have some control over that. Find a way to get out of those situations because life is very short and we take things for granted. We take our time on this earth for granted. And tomorrow's not guaranteed for anyone, right? So, like I say, stay blessed. Um, my BT crew, Bellaocity Travel crew, thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for helping to continue to grow this channel. I want to just reach out there and I want to, even if I just touch one person, and like I said, yeah, it's a travel channel, but also I want to motivate you to do things for yourself, to start loving yourself again, to start feeling like you're worth, you're worth way more than people give you credit for, right? So, yeah, just thank you guys for tuning in, and, like, comment, subscribe, and share, share everything here on my channel. And you guys have a good day. Here, it's almost 9 p.m., so I'm going to be having a good night. But yeah, so like I say, whether you're sinking, floating, swimming, you know, what is it? Doggy pedaling or something. I don't know what it's called. Whatever you're doing and you feel like you just barely making it, try to rediscover yourself. Take a look at your life and see what things can change to put you in a positive place, to put you in a better place mentally. Because I promise you, if you're in a better place mentally, physically, you're going to feel better. All right. So stay encouraged, stay blessed, and have a good night. Till next time.